Welcome to the show. Now please strap in for the truth and remember the words of the great Tom Cruise.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now welcome to Off Topic on Porn.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this episode of OTOP may find you. We're glad to have you. I'm Rob Looper here with my good friend Russell. Russell, it's good to be back with you, my friend. How are you doing?
It's good to be back with you too, Rob. I'm doing very well. I managed to survive the Super Bowl since I didn't watch it. How about you?
You know what? We did that episode on the Super Bowl, and you know what?
Yeah.
I did watch the Super Bowl, and then I did watch the TP USA alternative halftime show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to be honest. I was a little disappointed in the commercials this year because that's usually the
Yeah,
real
that's the
reason.
big one.
Yeah, because I'm not a
Yeah.
big. I got to be honest. I'll watch college football, but I'm not a big like you and I have talked about this. Why you and I are both not NFL fans. Um, so I am not a huge. That's really the one game of the year that I'll watch is the Super Bowl. We kind of make it a big
Mhm.
deal in our family. We got we cook hot wings and this that and the other. I make
Yeah.
homemade hot wings and all that stuff, and we do a bunch of
Yeah.
different things. And then but we really watch it for the commercials and the new movie trailers and this that and the other. And I got to be honest, this year was lackluster. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it really was. I think there was a couple commercials that were okay. My favorite, I think, was there was one where there was an eagle, a little eaglet, falls out of the nest, and the Budweiser Clydesdale, that's a colt at this point, takes care of them, and then all of a sudden they're running, and the whole time Freebird is playing in the background. Okay, so
Okay.
then at the
Appropriate.
appropriate, right? And so then the horses, the Clydesdale's running as they're getting older, they're doing stuff, and he's trying to help the bird fly, and it's not. Then at the very end, okay, you see the Clydesdale, and he is just booking it. Now you can't see the eagle at this point, and he goes and he jumps this log, and from nowhere, okay, it looks like the Clydesdale sprouts wings. Then as he comes over the log, then you see his back, and the eagle comes off his back and flies, and there's a sunset behind him, and then you look on the porch and there's these two old dudes, and one of the guys looks at the other guy and goes, "You crying?" And the other guy goes, "Sun's in my eyes." You notice the
See, so
crescendo of Freebird. He asks if he's
I didn't
crying.
catch it.
He says, "Are
Oh
you
yeah, I
crying?"
heard that part.
And the other guy goes, "Sun's in my eyes."
Oh, sounds okay.
But it's really a good commercial. And again, I like Leonard Skinner, so I like Freebird. You know what I'm saying? So so it was, but I got to be honest, the commercials were just not up to par. And you know what was really interesting? There was no Doritos commercial, which Doritos is usually, got usually a pretty good commercial, but they're just,
Yeah.
they were lackluster.
Maybe they don't like Bad Bunny. I don't know.
Maybe they don't, or maybe they're, I will say this, it was the year of AI. I mean, there were so many different AI
Yeah.
commercials. I was done with it, to be honest with you. I was like, I was over it. So,
Well, and I guess we're done with it, right? So
yeah. So,
thank like the Calvinist said after he slipped down on the ice. Well, thank God that's over with.
that's it, right? So anyway, but no, I tell you, there is some interesting, news. Russ, it's been interesting, and you and I have talked about this. There has been a lot of celebrities who have realized, I think, what Solomon has said, King Solomon from the Bible.
Yeah.
I have everything has been granted to me. Everything I have had everything under the sun, and nothing satisfies except the fear of the Lord. Um, And I think what they're starting to realize, some of these celebrities, is, you know what? Um, just doesn't, nothing is really satisfying me except the fear of the Lord. And they need something to fill that void, the spirit, because we're created that way. One of a real famous one lately is Conor McGregor, got saved. He's a really famous MMA, UFC fighter. But and then very recently, which I got to be honest with you, it really, really shocked me when I heard this, and not just heard it, but saw a press conference. And this person's been very vocal about their faith and actually their support of Trump and all these other things, and I'm very supportive of an issue that's near and dear to our heart, and that's Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, boy,
I
I tell
did
you what,
not see that coming
I
at
went.
all.
Some people watching this that know me won't like me saying this, but I went from a non-fan to a fan pretty fast. Now,
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm listening to her music,
No, 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 no. But I
but
think she's going to
but
clean that music up, if I'm being honest,
but
with the
look,
Lord in her life like that.
yeah, grace compels us
Yeah,
as believers to when someone does the right thing, we champion good on
we
the
do.
earth. And
Yeah,
when somebody is doing something, and I think you had said something to me before the podcast about she had come to faith. So
yeah,
that's okay. So
yeah.
we must take that.
Right.
uh,
Yeah,
First of all, if that's her testimony, we
yeah.
must take that seriously, and second, we must take the value of that to heart as
Yes.
believers.
A-
And man, I'll tell you, yeah, the whole Nigeria thing.
Yeah, and she's a
Uh,
big supporter of shining a light on the crisis
yes,
that is Nigeria, and I'm going to just call it the genocide of the Christian
yeah,
believers in Nigeria. And really she's now become a very vocal, and she calls herself one of the number one supporters of
yeah.
Trump, and she has said, on the press conference that I
I think
heard,
she
she said,
said she's his biggest
biggest fan.
fan or supporter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and she said, I know that they'll come after me for this, but
yeah.
I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to stop, because they're going to come after us just like they came after Jesus, and that's okay.
Well, that's and she's right about that. And heading the list is our good friend Don Lemon.
Oh yeah.
I say that with tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Oh sure.
Um,
Yeah.
who had some really ugly stuff to say about her, and she didn't really receive it from him.
No. Well, they also made some jokes about her at the Grammys. I guess I heard. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't watch the
Boy, now
Grammys.
there's
I
a
just know.
reputable bunch,
Oh
huh?
yeah, right. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
to me, I think it goes back to, and I'm going to say this. I think the church needs to be the church, and here's what I mean by that, Russell. And I think you'll agree with me. We need to start supporting the people who are supporting the causes that need to be supported. So, for example, Nigeria. Um, there's a crisis with our brothers and sisters in the Lord dying for their faith.
Yes.
And just
Yes.
because economically Nigeria doesn't maybe do a lot for us, that doesn't matter, because right is right and wrong is wrong. And if there's
Right.
a crisis, we should be, you know, shining a light on that. And it's interesting, Russell, you know this. In the Bible it talks about, if you have the ability to do good to others, you see a need, and all you say is be well and be fed, you've done nothing. If you have the ability to meet that need and you do nothing, then it is not okay. And we're not. If we do, because we're a superpower. We have the ability to say that's not okay. And we shouldn't. I'm not advocating that we're the world's policeman. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't hear
Well, when
that.
people,
But
it's one thing because people will invoke that and they'll say, um, "Well, yeah, we're wealthy and we have all this influence and we have all this ability, so we should be letting all of these illegal aliens in
right,
because who better to feed them and
right,
to take care of them than us?" Okay, so there's that,
right.
and then there is people are being heinously murdered
Yeah,
by a I don't even know what adjective to use, but by a regime
yeah,
that is arguably Satan driven.
right.
And I really I say regime by an ideology,
Yeah,
and the that would be the terrorist. I forget what the word is, but the Islamic terrorist, the
is it the Mujahideen?
militant Islam, huh?
Is it the Mujahideen?
Well, the militant Islam,
Oh yeah, okay.
and they are the ones that are coming against Nigeria like this, and
Right.
other people in other places,
Sure.
other Christians in other places.
Absolutely.
And so to intervene here's what people don't like in this country. Some people don't like this is a nation founded on Judeo-Christian principles. We are a Judeo-Christian nation. That
Yeah.
is what our laws are built on. That is what our ideology is about. That's what it's always been about. And just because we've got a bunch of people that have surfaced in this country in recent decades who push back on that because they don't personally like it, doesn't change the fact that that's what we are.
Right. No,
And
you're
by the
right.
way, their ability to complain and to riot and do all these other things, they don't have the right to riot, but to protest and these other things, or because we are a nation that formulated itself the way it was formulated and has these concepts of human rights. And I don't even like to use that term. These are God-given rights
Yeah.
that allow us the liberty to do those sorts of things. And so these people use those things to try to destroy those things in this country. They are illegitimate. The
Right.
fact of the matter is, as a good conscienced nation built on Judeo-Christian principles, when we see Christians being slaughtered by anti-Christian bigots, we are perfectly right to intervene. And
Yep.
it doesn't really matter who says what beyond that. I mean, they will say it, they're just wrong and should not be censured.
No, you're right. Well, and I think,
Sorry, I get a little bit passionate about
no, well,
that.
and it goes even beyond that with the media and what we cover and what we don't cover. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't hear a lot about Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Right.
hear a lot about what's going on, and it's interesting because there definitely to me is a bias in the media. I'll give you an example. I saw this clip. Um, the Winter Olympics are going on right now, and so
Yeah.
during the opening ceremonies, I guess JD Vance was getting ready to lead our team out of wherever it wasn't a tunnel, but out onto the track or whatever it was. And
Yeah.
the commentators said as JD Vance came out of the tunnel, and everything else, they're like, "Oh, there's a lot of boos." Well, I was listening to the person who was going over this, and they said, if you listen to the raw, they're like, listen to this, and you hear the crowd, and the people going, oh, there's the commentators, oh, listen to the boos. Then you listen to the sound, okay, but then you listen to the raw crowd noises, okay, without the commentators, there's no boos. There's just
Maybe,
the crowd noise just
maybe,
kept going. You know what I'm
maybe
saying?
what they meant was that the two of them, the commentators, I don't know how many there were, but
Yeah.
maybe they were just drinking a lot of booze.
Maybe they were. I don't
They were
know, but
drunk.
it was just, again, it goes back to, and again, I'm not this, I I don't know JD Vance that much. He doesn't seem like he does all that much. I mean, he's the vice president. There's not a lot
No,
to do.
he does do a lot.
No, I mean he
He's
does,
one of
but
the
I'm
most
saying
active vice presidents we've had.
yeah, no, but what I'm saying is he doesn't. He just seems to be doing the walking the platform that he's on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he doesn't do it like super controversial things right now. You understand what I'm saying? And yet his the reason he's controversial is because he's Donald Trump's vice president. But
Right,
really and
right.
truly, I just it just right now it doesn't matter what you do. Everything is so politicized. It's so polarizing. I just really he just walked the team into the opening ceremonies. Like, give me a break. We don't have to. You know what I'm saying? And so, really and truly, it's interesting. Even in the media, the media who is supposed to be supposed to be is really, you know, term of whatever. We can't even get a real like, hey, look, here's JD Vance leading I mean, it's almost like I really would just rather have a monotone. Okay, and here's JD Vance leading the U.S. team, and then just leave it. I don't need your commentary to tell me. I can hear the crowd.
But you know they're going to do that,
Oh, I
Rob. You
know,
know they're going to do it. Anything they don't care what you and I would rather.
I know, and
They
it's
only care about pushing the agenda
no,
that they
I
are
know,
paid to
yeah,
push by people who want to
yeah,
negatively affect this nation
yeah, I know.
and who hate Trump and hate people who voted for him and all
I
that.
know.
So,
It's just,
and they are totally illegitimate
I
people.
know. It's
I
just
say it
crazy.
like that with emphasis because I hope someday these podcasts get out there. I want some of those people out there to see what some people like me really think about them.
Yeah,
I'm not going to, I don't want to be ugly to anybody, but
no.
I am not going to be a gentleman to people who are treating other people that way.
Well, no,
No,
and it is wrong, and
they're
it's
not worthy of it.
right. It's just it's crazy. I mean, why not? I just there's a part of me that there's a logic process that just I don't
There is
understand.
no logic. No,
That's what I'm saying.
no, there's
Right. To
logic.
me,
The logic is they're
yeah.
going to do everything they can against Trump, Vance, and
Right.
everything that has anything to do with them. That's the logic.
Right.
So the illogical thing would be if they were saying supportive stuff about JD
Yeah.
Vance.
Yeah.
That would have been the head scratcher for me.
Right.
But the fact that they said something like that, trying to get,
Yeah.
let's find something. Oh, let's say that there were all these boos.
Yeah,
I don't care what a bunch of people at the Olympics are booing, by the way,
yeah, right. I mean,
because it's probably populated by a bunch of Europeans who have really proven that they know what they're doing governmentally when it comes to
right. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
certain situations here
Yeah.
lately. I don't care. I don't care. I love everybody and I want everybody to come to Jesus, but I
Yes.
don't care about people who embrace negative ideology and
Yep.
don't have enough sense to realize what they're doing and doing it, and don't care, it seems, about the damage that they cause in embracing such things.
Sure.
And I don't care if it's from any nation in Europe. I don't care if it's Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. And I
No,
don't
yeah.
think you care either, Rob.
No, no. I honestly, I live my life not really affected by what people in Europe or other places think of me, honestly. So
Well, you live in Gaelic, so
yeah,
that's, that's
honestly, my
I'm
biggest,
in the big city, brother.
yeah, I know my biggest thing is when's deer season. To be honest with you, so um,
Yeah.
that may be its own hot button topic for people who are like you can't do that. Yeah, well, whatever. So
Can
um,
you can't hunt deer?
oh, yeah, there are people who don't
You
like that you
sure
hunt
you
deer.
surely can.
I mean, yeah, no, they don't like it, but
People
people are
people think you should
anti-hunting. So if you don't
yeah,
like it,
while
I
they sit there
apologize
eating
to
a
you, but I'm going to
hamburger.
do it. Yeah. Well, hey, look. Yeah, yeah. I've always wondered about that, by the way. The people who don't like hunting and then are, you know, they're very they're very carnivorous, or even if they're
If you
not, they're
don't like hunting, that's fine, but don't say anything against it.
yeah, that's fine. You can not like it, and I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah,
But just don't just let me be just let me go ahead and do it with
yeah,
my sons, and it's fine. It's fine. I don't care that you don't like it. It's fine. I'm not. We can still be
right,
friends, have coffee, do whatever. Let's just not talk about that. But don't let's not get into the whole let's not be like militant anti. You know what I'm saying? Just like because I'm
yeah.
not going to get militant that you should. But there are people who are just they're very against it. And
Well,
yeah,
so
yeah,
back on topic, I do salute Nicki Minaj
yes,
in this. I really do.
yes, and,
And
and yeah,
and
I
she
do.
has said more than one really good thing lately. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
um
So
Don the fake Christian lemon,
yeah,
notwithstanding, that lady has the real stuff and he does not.
yeah. No, absolutely. And that's the thing for me is now again, and it shows the power of the life changing power that Jesus has when somebody, and I don't want to say somebody like Nicki Minaj, but somebody who seemed to be as anti uh, Christian, as anti Jesus
Well,
as
she
Nicki
was
Minaj was.
definitely dancing with the culture.
Yes,
Definitely
yes,
dancing with the
definitely
yeah,
embracing the culture.
yeah.
Just did not seem to have any thought, care, or anything for God or things of the Lord or Jesus.
Not as
Um,
far as we knew.
Not
Yeah.
as far as we knew. Now is very, hey, you know what? Let's, the Lord has really would seem gotten a hold of her life, and for that, all I can really honestly say, and I mean this with all sincerity, praise the Lord for that. I mean, really, and
Absolutely.
and glory to the Lord, because again, it goes back
Absolutely.
to the stories we read biblically. An encounter with Jesus is life changing, and there's
Yeah.
nothing better to change a life than an encounter with
And
the Lord.
I salute her for seeing this quickly
Yeah,
that she has a responsibility because she has a platform, which is
yeah,
also in alignment with the concept to whom much is given, much is required.
yeah.
And by golly, she is taking that very seriously.
She is, and you know what? And I really, again, her style of music was never my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this though, I'm in the minority because she was a very popular artist, and I probably still is. I don't keep up with anything much, but to your point, she's very popular, and so she's using that popularity to spread and propagate. Now,
Yeah.
for example, the message that's going on in Nigeria, she's using that, and so to your point, kudos to her for saying, "Hey, you know what? I've got a platform, and man, I'm going to use it, and I'm gonna, I've got a gigantic megaphone. I will spread this message far, and I will spread this message wide." So, kudos to her for that. And if you have a problem with that, then I don't know, then you get a following like she has, and you do it. That's the
Yeah.
only thing I can say. If you have a problem, then don't talk about it. Just get a bigger
Well,
following, and you do it. and do
Yeah,
it in a different way.
and she is doing a good
Yeah,
work. She's using her
right.
platform to do it, and she is speaking up on behalf of millions of people who
Right.
are under severe persecution.
Sure.
And she is supporting a president who is doing something
About
about
it.
that and
Yeah,
is doing a lot of other good things.
absolutely.
And everyone who doesn't like that, you're just on the wrong side of it.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that's probably all I have to say
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
about it. So, but anyway,
That's my Forrest Gump moment.
and that's all I
Not
have
that
to
I'm
say about.
equating myself to him, but
Thank you, Lieutenant Dan. Um, I'm sorry, it just was there. I took it. But anyway,
it's all right.
but no. So yep. But anyway, so I guess that's all we have on this episode. Russell, as always, it is good to get on the mic with you, my friend. Um,
Yes.
and as we always like to say when we end these, you don't have to, and we did, we went off topic. You can go and you can be off topic, but you must always be on point. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks. Thank you for listening today to Off Topic On Point. We want to remind you of our email address if you'd like to contact us. It's otopnow@gmail.com. That's otopnow@gmail.com. And as always, we want to leave you with this. It's okay to be off topic. Just make sure you're always on point. All right. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.